Hello everyone and welcome to this video with the title How to Mute Midlife Crisis Once and for All. My name is Sagakura, and just to tell you a bit about the background story to this video. So I was blessed to be raised between two cultures. My parents are originally from Burundi, that's a small country in Central Africa, and both my brother and I were born and raised in Germany. And from a small age already, I realized that there was a difference between how age was handled in the Burundian community, and as I've come to learn in the African community in general, and in the German community, and by now, as I've come to learn in the European community, because I've lived in Spain, the UK, France, which is where I'm currently living, and also in Kenya. And so, well, when my parents were with their Burundian friends, people would actually be proud of their age. People would even boast of being the eldest in the room. And then when you were with German friends, age was something that you'd rather not touch upon. And I remember being just a small kid and innocently walking up to one of my parents' friends and asking, "How old are you?" And the reaction I got was a finger and das fragt man nicht. That means in German, you don't ask that. And so I quickly noticed that there was a difference. And here I am 4 years ago at 39, and I was about to turn 40, and actually quite excited. And also talking to friends who were also turning 40 or had just turned 40, and I would go up to them and say, "Hey, you're turning 42." And they'd be like, "Don't mention it, don't mention it." And there would be this lamenting around turning 40. And at the same time, the same individual who was lamenting that they were turning 40 were planning this huge party. And I was like, okay, I don't think this goes together, but let me just not go uh, go into this too much. But then the same individuals would approach me and try to find out. So they would ask things like, "So how do you feel about turning 40?" I was like, "I feel great. I mean, it's great, isn't it?" And they were like, "Oh, yeah." And then they would start saying things like, "And don't you have a problem of being 40 and not yet being married?" And that's when I would look at them and say, "No, but I may reconsider whether I want to take our friendship into my 40s." That's something I'm really honestly considering. And they would dig out all sorts of things that they thought, in their belief system, would have had to be achieved in order to be happy at 40. And so I did what I always do. I walked up to God and I was like, "God," so I take small and big things to God. I just love having my God conversations. And I was like, "God, I'm turning 40, and here is what I don't understand. Why are people lamenting the fact of turning 40? I don't want to go there, because here's what I'm actually hoping and praying to blow 100 candles and more. So I'm not going to do 60 years of lamenting every year I turn older." And the other thing I just found so ridiculous is that, especially in the Western world, medicine is working so hard on longevity and on just making man live longer, and at the same time you have this bunch of people who's crying that they're getting older. So it's like, why? And I remember God telling me, "Yes, you're turning 40. I checked it, you're right. And now let me ask you one thing." Because I'd asked him to give me just this one answer, I may shoot at people who would come up with the lamenting, and that I should join them with lamenting. And he was like, "Do you have an alternative?" I was like, "Are you joking? I don't." "Are you sure you don't have an alternative to turning 40?" And I was like, "No, not really." And he told me, "Let me help you. There's one alternative." And then it dawned on me, and I was like, "Not turning 40?" I was like, "Yeah, that's the only alternative. It's either you turn 40 or you don't, which means you die." So all these people who are lamenting, it would be the same as if they're lamenting that they're still alive. Because as we all know, no one can go back, thank God. And the only um, the only way is to continue to get older. But people who are actually sitting there and lamenting that they get older might as well lament that they're still alive. So do you want to join them? And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not going to join them, because to be honest, I don't know about you, but my parents come from a country where there's always been war. But even if it weren't like that, I am 43 now, and I know people who didn't get to turn 40. I know people who didn't get to turn 20. I have seen parents bury their own children. Just to give you one example, a cousin of mine who died at the young age of 19 due to a brain tumor. And even though I was just 10 at that time, I will never forget my uncle and my aunt's facial expression. It just looked as if someone had ripped their hearts out. So these are things that I remember, and this is why I would really just say, urge you and me to just remember that this is a gift. This life is a gift. Every year is a blessing. And by the way, I also believe that it gets better from year to year. And as long as you're alive, the things that bother you, the things that bother me, we can change them, but only because we're here, because we're alive. So you have to become older in order to change things in your life. And I just want to invite you to just mute midlife crisis the next time it comes along. Mute this voice that tells you you're getting older, your health is not as it was, you're not as fit, and so on. And just say, no, stop. I am doing well, and I am so happy and blessed to be alive. And my life can get better because I am alive. Because the only alternative to getting older would be not getting older, as in to die. And I hope that this little video, this little message will be helpful to some of you, and would just like to know your own experience. If you want to comment below, and if you like it, I would appreciate if you push or press, I don't know what you say, like, hit like, I think that's what they say. And I hope to see you in one of my next videos. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Take care.